Davis Live. We're so happy to have everybody here today with us. We're here actually streaming live from California here at our IKF headquarters. We have a special tribute, a living tribute to our IKF CEO, Mr. Steve Fossum. And we have several guests that's going to come on the show today. But right now, to get it started out, a lady who needs no introduction, or maybe she does right now, Miss Fallon Fossum. She is the daughter of Mr. Steve Fossum. How are you, Fallon?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing awesome. What I'm going to do really quick, I'm going to do a little quick switcheroo. I'm going to take myself down. I know you guys couldn't hear what I was saying, but I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think my name was Fallon. So I wanted to make sure that we got that just right. Fallon, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Doing great. It's so nice to have you on. I know that we are under some kind of unique circumstances, and I know they're kind of difficult times for the family. But quickly, I wanted to bring you on before I brought on the rest of the guests to tell them a little bit about your dad, right? And what he means to you, and how appreciative you are for their assistance.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. My dad has obviously played such a big part in my life. He has provided so much for my mom and I, from traveling to going to, the movies or, just getting simple little things here and there, or even just like being there for us.
Right.
I was fortunate enough to get such a great dad and everything. And so, I'm so grateful for just everything that he has done for our family. He just truly means so much to us. Like I said earlier, he has been here for us for so long, and I really appreciate everything that he has done, providing such such a great life for all of us. He's been such an inspiration, for my mom and I, and I'm sure many others out there as well. He keeps inspiring me every single day. Keeps he always tells me, do the right thing, do the right thing, and he's just helped me through so much throughout my life and everything. I'm so grateful for him.
Right, right. Well, like I said, and we're glad to know that he's still with us and everything. He has a couple of tough challenges and things like that for sure. But I think that in asking people to help out a little bit is not asking too much in the sense of even beyond his insurance, there's going to be a lot of medical costs and a lot of bills and everything that is going to be associated with this difficult time. Let people know how important it will be and how much you appreciate their help.
With my dad being in the hospital, we are looking at a time period of about maybe one to, for like, I don't know, he's going to be in
Right.
the
It's going to be a
hospital
tough,
for
tough,
a good
tough
amount
period.
of time. And we don't know when he's going to come out. Fingers crossed he comes back soon. Of
Yeah.
course, everyone wants him to come out soon. But with that being said, we know there are going to be a ton of medical expenses, like you had mentioned previously. And so, any donations, if anyone was feeling generous enough, any donations that we could receive to really help with these medical bills would be so greatly appreciated. That would just be like the best thing ever if we could, get some help with our medical finances here. And just we are really thankful. Bottom line, we are so thankful for like the love and support that we have received. I mean, my mom and I are still getting messages here left and right of people just constantly praying and constantly asking for updates.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to medical expenses, if anyone has some, spare cash laying around,
Yeah.
we would love it if you would
Right.
make feel generous enough to donate some, because that would be
Right.
so
That'd be
amazing.
awesome. That'd be awesome. Tell me something before I let you go, Fallon. I so appreciate you taking the time to come on for a minute to kick off the show. Tell me something that's really funny about your dad that we don't know. That's something that he's probably done that we probably would be very surprised that he was even that funny.
Oh gosh. he has a lot of funny moments. I know that. What is
Yes.
something that's so funny about him that probably nobody knows?
Tony, have Tony come in the screen as
Yes,
well, his
help
wife.
me, help me. I mean, you've known him so much longer than I have.
Hi
Hey,
guys.
Tony, how you doing?
Actually, good, thank you. I was just gonna whisper in her ear probably the funniest stuff, or actually not really appropriate for
I must not know these.
yeah. So, but I think hopefully most people who know Steve know he does have a very serious side, but he also probably has one of the best sense of humors
Oh my gosh,
that I've
absolutely.
known. And I've known him for a long, long time before we ever started a relationship at all. And that's one thing that I always admired about him was his great sense of humor and how, of course he always does the right thing. So when you ask about some funny things that he's done, the list is just so, so long. So
Oh, I've got a good one.
Do you?
I've got a good one. So it's just kind of funny. So if you guys know us personally, then you know that my mom and I and my grandma, like we are all chocoholics. Okay, we love
Well, no, I
chocolate.
didn't know that, but now I do.
Okay, so yes, we love chocolate so much. Now my dad, he used to never be like a fan of chocolate. He would go in the fridge and maybe get like a little Hershey Kiss, and then he'd be set for like a week on chocolate. Well, recently, after like one of his medical procedures, like a while back, maybe a year or two ago, he came out of the hospital, and then all of a sudden he was just obsessed with chocolate. Like we would come home and we'd be so excited to like share the chocolate cake, and the one person was gone. We were like, "How did this happen?" So now he has a very weird obsession with chocolate. Like he'll go in the fridge, he'll be like, "Who ate that last piece of cake?" We'll be like,
Wow.
"You did." He'll be like, "No." He loves chocolate. If you don't know what to get him for Christmas, chocolate. Absolutely.
That's a funny story. I didn't know he had a sweet tooth. That is awesome. Well, Tony, while we have you there really quick, maybe you can elaborate on what Fallon said about the importance of helping out with these medical expenses in these tough times.
So I'm sure, as everyone can imagine, the IKF is not just a business, but it's our family business. It's our livelihood. It's basically Steve's life's work.
Right.
And so we again so appreciate all the support that we've gotten from people so far with messages and prayers and texts and emails and everything. And we feel so blessed to know that the IKF family is so united and so strong, and we're really looking forward to that. However, there of course are, the day-to-day expenses and bills and, all that kind of stuff that we are now a little bit challenged to make sure that those are going to be taken care of, especially with, Steve's medical bills. At this point in time, we have no idea what that's even going to look like,
Wow.
but it's probably going to be a number that we've never seen before.
Right. Yeah.
With that being said, we know that there's going to be some financial challenges. Support, of course, would be fabulous, but more so, we even would love to have just a unity of support for Steve, just showing him how many people actually care, how many people are praying for him to get out of the hospital sooner rather than later. And, that's just where we hope to be with IKF Strong, hashtag IKF Strong. It's all about supporting Steve and showing the love for an organization and a group of people that he has fought so hard and so long for, now in turn can turn around and fight for him.
Right. Well, I think that's awesome, and we're going to do that, Tony. I just want you to know you have my full support. You know that. I'm very thankful for Steve and all the stuff he's taught me over the years. And we just go back so far. We fight like brothers, but we love each other, and and like I said, we're gonna get through this together. It is IKF Strong, from all aspects of what we're going to do to, stay on top of the game, to move things forward, to keep fighters safe, to keep the regulatory process going on across the country, and to continue to grow and all. And I want to make sure that I give you all the support that you need to help, continue to take our sport to that next level. And without Steve, involved early on, I could not be where I am today. I just want you to know that it's supposed to be a happy show. Hold on one second. Anyway, I listen. Our friendship and our connection that we've made many years ago has a lot to do with where I am today. And so I just want him to get better, and all, and so that we can argue again. I want to argue again, Steve. I want to fuss again. Come on, man. But real talk.
I don't think anybody argues like the two of you do.
No, I don't. I tell people that all the time. But we've been working together.
Yeah. I can always tell when he's on the phone with you, Johnny, because even all the way across the hall in my office with the door closed and the music on, I can still hear you two yelling.
Yeah. We've accomplished a lot together, and again, I don't take what I've accomplished like, hey, I did it by myself. No, a lot of the shows that even when I was doing out in California, it was the background. It was what he was doing in the office that made me look so good, right? And stuff. And so I just want you to know that I'm forever appreciative. You have my loyalty and my trust. And we're going to ride this till the wheels fall off. And we're going to make sure that everyone out there should know that we have a strong foundation. We have a lot of knowledgeable people a part of our organization. And that we're going to continue to run the organization. And our interim CEO right there, Miss Tony Fossum, and stuff. And we are going to, move things forward so everybody can feel confident that we are going to have a strong organization still and all. And so we're expecting to hear from a lot of people as well. So anyway, listen, I told you guys I wasn't going to keep you that long. I just appreciate you taking just a moment here to chat with us and let everyone know how important this cause is. And I wish you guys all the best. And we're going to talk to you again real soon. Now we have some guests lined up there, and I'm going to start pulling them up and chatting with them just a little bit. Okay, guys?
Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much. All right, talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Tony and Fallon Fossum, the wife and daughter of Mr. Steve Fossum there. They're certainly asking for your support as well. So we hope that you will certainly do that because, again, a lot of expenses are going to come about right now, and it's not easy. Trust me. I've seen this. I've seen it with my mom and things like that. So we're hoping that you will certainly come on and support. A gentleman who knows a little bit about this also is waiting there in the lobby. He was one of my first guests. This is just not a typical guest. This is someone who was a 10-time world champion. He was a guy that I thought he and I were supposed to fight. Rick, I've forgotten. Right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, without any further ado, one of the greatest kickboxing champions of all times, Rick the Jet Rufus.
Good afternoon, Johnny. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor and pleasure.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Rick?
If I was any better, it'd be you, Johnny.
Brother, I hear you, man. Thanks so much, Rick. It is so nice to have you on today. I know
Thank you.
The best of times for our IKF CEO, and we certainly want to chat a little bit about that. But I want people to maybe take a moment to hear a little bit about your past and your background and your contributions to the sport before we talk about the connection with you and Mr. Fossum.
Well, do you have till tomorrow?
I know, right?
I started this journey at 4 years old and got involved in martial arts under my father. It was kind of like ice cream. Never got enough. I loved it. Already was doing point karate tournaments as a mini peewee in 1974. Fell in love. I decided this is what I wanted to do. At a young age, I was already going to Junior Olympic boxing, preparing. And by the time I was 9, 10, 11, 12, I was already sparring men and beating men, and men were getting mad.
Yes, yes,
And also along the way that helped tremendously in my career was point karate.
yes,
That distance, gauging the
yes.
distance helped
Look,
tremendously. And
Rick,
at
Rick,
that time,
yeah, could you pull that camera down just a little bit so we can bring your head up a little higher? There you go. Perfect. There you go. Yeah, go ahead.
and then at that time, what made it so unique before they had become unified were there were different rules all over the country that you went. And you had to learn how to adapt to each one of those, which later played such an important part of my career.
Right.
By 16, I'm going to boxing gyms. I fought in ABF. I fought in Golden Gloves. At 18, I turned pro. 19, I signed my first contract with Joe Corley, Jim Abernathy.
Yes.
Won my first belt at 20 in Atlanta against John Moncayo. And then, fighting was a passion. I love to fight. I mean, I love M&Ms. If we need the world to go around by M&Ms, I'd fight every week.
Right.
But I had my career began in the PKA, and I had a great run. And I got to fight great fighters, John Eves, which was
Yes.
one of the biggest fights in the history.
Sure.
Rob Kamen twice. And then after PK fell by the wayside, I had to pick the ball up. So then I made a venture into professional boxing, won a belt there. But then Master Ishii came to Atlanta where I was living, lured me back to K1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into K1, which was a hard transition because you're going from one art to a different art, transitioning,
Right.
and absorbed some losses along the way against some tough guys because of the fact I'd never leg kicked, and not make excuses. I got to fight the best of the best, and I never backed down from a challenge, and I always believe the only way you're going to get better is to challenge yourself and fight people better than yourself.
Right. Well, you were certainly one of the greats. I'm just sorry that one or two things did not happen. Either you got the opportunity to knock me out, or I got the opportunity to knock you out. Hey Rick.
But that fight would have happened in the '80s when we were fighting together. Nautilus Center. We fought in this and a couple other cards, but unfortunately, it never came together. I think we fought the same night. I fought Rich Leap and Lopez. You fought somebody else that night.
Yeah. Well, I certainly wanted that to happen. You wanted it to happen, but unfortunately, it didn't. Tell me, I would need to bring Dr. Furnish up here in a moment if I can have him come into the office here. But I also want to ask you about what was the connection with you and Steve? How did you meet Steve Fossum?
Oh, geez, when Steve had passion like I had as a fighter. He had a drive, a desire, a goal, and he saw something, and he ran with it. I think 92, maybe, when we fought in Tahoe, IKF came in and co-sanctioned with PK when they started doing fights. I know he was there in 93 when I fought McDonald, maybe in the Kenora fight. But then I had fought some other fights that were co-sanctioned by IKF. And then I fought the big fight in Lowell with Stan, which IKF sanctioned.
Right.
But Steve was one of my biggest fans. He's always a positive guy. He was a big fan and very kind, very
still
generous,
is, and he
very
still
nice.
is, Rick. And he still is
No,
a big fan. Yes.
no, I know that, and he's a great guy. He always was in my corner and always wanted the best for me.
Right, right. But he did tell me, I think you could have knocked out Rick Rufus. No, I'm kidding. I can't. And then I woke up. I woke up. It was a dream. I thought it was for real, but it was a dream, Rick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Rick, you also had a couple of tough times here lately with some medical issues and stuff like that. You have a GoFundMe page going as well, and
Yes.
people will go to your page and check that out at Rick Rufus. Tell me really quick before we close out here, that was it the fight sports that maybe you had your later injuries and things like that you think that kind of makes it very difficult for you, or do you think it just kind of just happened just because of age, or do you think it had a lot to do with your past fights?
Well, I've been really active up until all this came into effect. I was personal training clients one-on-one. Sometimes you do 10, 15 clients a day. And I'm actually, when it's out there, I'm proactive. I'm moving them and they're doing drills. And,
Right.
Let's be real. At 4 years old, I'd probably thrown well over millions of kicks.
Right.
Jumping, spinning, turning. I think that probably all played the effect of having the back the way it ended up. I mean, I ended up having 2 titanium rods. I had 3 fusions and my whole left side decompressed.
Right. Wow.
And then before that, early August, I had a titanium knee put in because I had knock knee, which probably was from when I was fighting K1. I tore my knee in 2002.
Right.
Which caused arthritis, caused it to bow. So, it's been a tough road.
Right.
And I'm facing the same problem as Steve. You got bills piling up, you got everything. It's just been, I never thought, you give your life and everything things would end up, but it is what it is. And I'm trying to move forward and do the best I can.
Well, and that's the whole idea, is that's what we're trying to change for the sport, Rick. You and I had a conversation the other day, and I'm trying to change it for the better. And I mean, even looking at situations where we can have such a fund that, as an organization, we can donate thousands of dollars, to some of these fighters who've done great things in the sport like you have. I want to go ahead and bring up my next guest but I want to spin this back around at some point. And have you back on the show, and let's have a conversation about your career, your past, your psychology, and all of those things. Go into a real Johnny Davis live, real talk with real solution kind of conversation. I want to do that with you, Mr. Rick Rufus, but I want to thank you so much for coming on today and, just saying kind words about our CEO, Mr. Steve Fossum.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Steve's a great guy. I wish him nothing but the best, and stay strong. Fight, and all the best.
Thanks so much, Rick.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it. I look forward to being on your show. All the best.
Yes, sir, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you had it there for Mr. Rick the Jet Rufus there. He took a moment today to come on and say the kind things he did about IKF, Mr. Steve Fossum, and I really do appreciate that. We're going to keep the show moving along. We have some more guests that were waiting in the lobby. So we want to go ahead and bring them up once I find them. They kind of get lost. They're in and then they're out. They're probably in some different Wi-Fi. Hey, there you go. I don't know where Miss Paulo went. She went somewhere there, but we're going to bring up Jackie Hodges. I see her sitting there waiting. She's on the way probably to an event. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jacqueline Hodges. How are you, Jacqueline?
Good, man. Like you said, we are on the road to Gilroy this weekend for another PMT event, so we're really excited about that. But you know how it goes. We just passed the grapevine a little bit ago, so we're just making our way up the California state.
Right. Tell me a little bit about your connection with and how you know Mr. Steve Fossum.
Yeah, well, obviously you and Steve go way back, so it's when we met you, Johnny. I guess we kind of got a little bit of extra credit, if you will. I guess meeting Steve and, the sport that we do, one of my favorite things about this sport is that it brings all walks of life and different types of people together, and it connects us in a way that we really just are so blessed to form, unique and amazing bonds. And even though it's work, I mean, it's like, doesn't feel like work, if you know what I mean,
Right.
when you're living the dream. So anyway, kind of touching base with, how we met Steve is, we do the same job, I suppose. But I remember when I first met Steve, kind of going off of what his wife said,
Yeah.
very serious guy. I was a little intimidated, like, whoa, this is the Mr. Fossum, and he's all serious, and I was pretty intimidated, man. And I remember I was kind of sweating, and I think I stuttered a lot in our first conversation. And then it's so funny because now that I think of the Steve I know now, I mean, we spend most of the time when we work together just joking.
Right.
And actually, I'll share a secret with you that Mr. Steve may not be stoked I'm telling everyone because he really wants to keep it secret, but I have a feeling, he'll forgive me later. So just a couple like fond memories of why I was so fond of Steve and still am, just to start out. But first things first, I don't know if you know this, Johnny, after all the years knowing him, he has one of the most incredible performance voices out there. Did you know that?
No. Now hold
So
on.
get this, man.
Now, when you say incredible, it's almost like using the word great. A lot of people think the word great is good. It's not always good. Great is magnitude. So what are we saying?
I am saying, like, he's the next, I don't know, American Idol, if you will.
What?
So peep this, man.
What?
Lately, yes, and I'll explain, because I know this is going to be a shock to a lot of people. They're like, wait, Steve sings? So check this out, man.
Right.
As you know, we've been doing our Muay Thai championship shows, and every time I get up there and I do the national anthem, but what you don't know is really, and I'm sorry, Steve, to tell everyone, the deets, but really what's going on is I'm technically lip singing and Steve is the one singing.
Oh,
Yeah, so
no.
if y'all
I don't think so. I've been
No,
knowing
that's
Steve
just-
a long time. I've never
that's just
heard
one
him
of our,
sing, but come on now.
that's one of our huge, inside jokes, I guess, if you will. And anyway, Steve, yeah, like I said, he seems like one of the most serious guys, and he's great at being serious when he needs to. But I just love his sense of humor. I love his sense of play. I love his passion for, just the sport in general, everything he's built. Also, I see where you're at right now. And the people who are close to Steve and have had the honor to go to the IKF headquarters know that he has so much passion for, I mean, just even collecting items that really, set the tone for, self-discovery, et cetera, if you will. Like, for instance, that picture behind you with the Pegasus.
Right.
He kind of gave me the background of that. And I literally was like in tears. Just the
Wow.
sheer meaning behind it, his personal story when he got that photo. I mean, he as seriously as he is, and the sense of humor he has so much depth to him. Great person overall, very caring, great father, great family man. Nothing but respect for the guy.
You know
and
what?
we're so grateful.
You know what, too, Jackie? When I'm looking, I just put a picture of his office, and just with all the
Yeah.
pictures on the walls, all the belts and everything that
Oh
he
my
has
gosh,
in
yeah.
here. It's like it's amazing. It's a beautiful office with all the awards and things, and it's well organized. People would be surprised of how
Oh yeah,
neat
yeah.
and organized. You look at the pictures on the wall, they're all kind of like, like almost like merchandised, if you will, on the
Yes,
wall.
yeah.
And that's just kind of how anal he was. Now, you did have to deal with it. He was a little anal in some areas, but that was in a good way for the most part. What was your experience
yeah.
with dealing with him with that?
So like going off of the what we were just saying, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, his attention to details where it's needed is pretty incredible. And like you're saying, I mean, just going around the office, I mean, you get to see all these, historical collections along the way, past photos of, just so many amazing fighters, some I've looked up to for years. And it's like, wait, you got to work with him? Or, just his attention to things that matter. And there's just so much spirit and energy there, if you will. It's just standing in that space feels really great. And, it really, it's a space where anyone who's been affiliated with what we do, there's tons of pictures of you there. It feels like home or something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you can't just get that feeling anywhere. I mean, there's an energy behind that. It's a very sacred and pure, loving kindness, respect energy. It's like, everyone thinks, oh, we do fighting for a living, where maybe
Right.
people who don't know, they're like, oh, you do kickboxing for, but they don't know that these people are some of the most, we fight hard in the ring. We love harder outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So,
True.
what a blessing. I mean, we're so grateful to you, Johnny, too, to introduce us to this life, if you will. You've been a great mentor for us. And, Steve has also been a great mentor for us. And we just really hope the best. Man, it's been an emotional ride, I'm sure, for so many. We're sending so many prayers. Obviously, I'm speaking for Ryan, too, because he's driving. But we're
Right.
sending so many prayers to, his wife, his daughter, all of his family and friends who have been, obviously informed with this. And, we're going to do everything we can to help. If anyone is, I know you guys were talking about medical needs. We do have a foundation called the Doc Moy Foundation, and we have, I'll send you the link after this, but basically we dedicate that organization to donate to great causes. And right now we're pretty much putting everything on we're putting everything on pause for other projects, and I want everything to go to this. So if anyone feels called to donate, unanimously or not, we basically are going to put any kind of proceeds to Mr. Fossum and the cause right now.
Right.
And like you guys were saying, anything helps. I don't care if it's $2,
Right.
2 cents a prayer. Spend 2 minutes in silence, just sending positive energy, visualizing, health and goodwill, and God willing, I mean, we'll get through this no matter what together. But the community needs each other. His family needs that support. So any kind of way you can support, it doesn't have to be monetarily, but if certainly that helps.
Absolutely.
We definitely want to see that through. So yeah, I mean,
well, you guys are so busy.
wish I could-
You're doing a lot of good stuff for the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing here in the state of California, and even outside of that. And I'm very thankful for the relationship that we have. Love you guys like family, and we're going to continue to move forward. We're going to continue to be IKF strong and all that we do.
Absolutely.
Jackie, thanks so much for coming on today.
Absolutely. Brothers for life, Johnny. You, Steve,
Yes.
we got your backs no matter what. Loyalty is everything. I don't know who just popped in your side
That's
screen
Dr.
there. Kind of see
Dr.
half face,
Furnace.
but
Yeah.
oh, what's up, Doc? Hey, man.
Dr. Furnace.
Hugs virtually, man. Y'all to say no more. That's one of my favorite docs. He actually checked out my sister's wrists last show because it kind of got a little funky, but she was fine. But yeah, appreciate you, Doc. So
Awesome.
thanks for having this for Steve, Johnny. By the way, I think it just means so much to
For sure.
just share the love and inform each other and support. So appreciate that too.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much, Jackie and Ryan. You guys drive safely and all, and we'll touch bases soon. Okay.
Yeah, and Daniel also sends his regards from India, but it's nighttime there. So, he's been anytime we can talk, he's always asking, how is everything? How's Steve? Any updates? And so that comes from the whole team. Okay, guys.
Sounds good.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jackie.
Love ya.
Thanks so much. All right, talk to you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Jackie Hodges there. She's one of our IKF PKB representatives there here in the state of California. So I have the opportunity here. I'm in California. As a lot of you guys know, I didn't tell a lot of people I was coming. But we have none other than, I call him, he's the #1 doctor here in California, in my opinion. We worked together some years ago when I was doing promotions here in the state of California. Dr. Furness. Doctor, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Good, good. I know that, we go a minute back, in the old days when I was promoting the shows here, you always has done a great job. Tell me a little bit, though, before we go into, your relationship with Mr. Fossum, about what that job really means to you to take care of fighters here in the state of California.
Well, I personally feel blessed. I really, really enjoy combat sports. When I was able to get started in 2002, um, things became obvious very quickly. There's a relatively small number of judges, refs, trainers,
Right.
get to know the athletes, sometimes going from amateur ranks to professional to even world titles with UFC.
Right.
Um, it's fun,
Right.
and it's a very good feeling to be able to keep the fighters as safe as possible. And obviously, in a sport where there are a lot of injuries, but the key thing is to make sure nothing gets out of hand and to try to get people help when they need it.
You know, in that, the IKF has certain protocols in place that, pre-fight exam, post-fight exams. I was just recently speaking with a commission, a group. They don't do the post-fight exams. Could you tell me, why is that so important?
Wow, that is surprising and
Yes.
not really good news.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Post-fight exams are interesting. When you're checking somebody who just lost, he or she typically doesn't want anything to do with you. They're going to minimize things. They're embarrassed. They want to get out of there. They're upset. They may be unhappy with the decision or
Right.
the ref. So it does take some finesse to try to help calm them down so you can check their hands carefully.
Now, did you just choose the word finesse because that's your last name? I mean, I'm just saying.
No.
Right, right.
I'm usually not that clever.
Right, that was pretty good.
So, yeah, there's kind of an art to checking out people who have lost. Typically, they have done more damage.
Sure.
So, typically, we spend more time with someone who's been knocked out or had a dislocated shoulder and so on. That is vitally important, even with people with fights that are at IKF level with headgear and big gloves. You still want to check for hand fractures, not rare. Ankle problems are not rare. And there's cuts and all sorts of things that pop up.
Right.
Winners are entirely different. Their adrenaline's pumping. They want to celebrate. They want to shake your hand and
Right.
get out of there. You have to calm them down sometimes.
Yes.
And I'd say more often than not, I found hidden hand fractures in winners.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, because sometimes they're not even aware of it till you get the gloves off and squeeze and
Right.
then they give you that funny look.
Right.
So with IKF, with mostly the headgear and not using elbows and so forth,
Right.
it isn't as bad as say pro level MMA, but
Right.
still it should be done.
Right.
And I think it's all part that makes everybody comfortable. The trainers know you're going to be looking after their athletes. The athletes know you're going to be checking them out. It's definitely the best way to do it.
Right. Awesome. Well, that is a protocol. It's a set rule for the IKF to have those post-fight exams, and I'm glad you feel that way about them as well. I want to just ask you about your relationship thus far with Mr. Steve Fossum, and kind of what that's like, and how you met him, and just kind of a general.
So Steve was friendly and a gentleman from the get-go. I think it was probably around 2005, 2006. I recognized him at some boxing events, and may sound strange, but he was a little shy. I was a little shy, so he just
Right. You weren't shy. Now, come on. I can't believe that, Doc.
So we started having little conversations, and then he asked me if I would like to work kickboxing events. And I said, yeah, I'm very interested, but I know nothing about kickboxing.
Right.
And he said, well, I know nothing about being a doctor. We'll be a good
team. Perfect.
I remember that conversation as clear as day. It took place in Redwood City at a boxing event.
Wow. So he kind of introduced you to the sport of kickboxing then?
He absolutely did.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yes.
I did not know that, and so a lot to be hopefully to be thankful for that then, because I'm thankful because you've always taken really good care of the fighters, and I know you're passionate about it as well. What would you like to say to people out there during these difficult times for Steve from a medical perspective, without going into any specific detail on about the recovery process and or the need for support
You're talking about for Steve.
for Steve?
The main thing is going to be patience. And right now, anybody that would tell you he's going to be back in X number of weeks or months is telling a fib, because no one knows.
Right.
And he's a strong guy. Fortunately, he has a very loving family. He has the very large and very affectionate, loving IKF family. I fully expect us all to pull together, keep IKF going. And when he comes back, it's going to be, if anything, a little bit bigger than it is now. And I think he's going to be very happy with us and everybody involved.
Right. It's a team. It's a team effort that we're putting together here. And with people like you, Doc, we can't go wrong. It's only, I know this for a fact. I've been knowing you for years. You're serious. You know your business and all. And I think it's just an honor to have you a part kind of the IKF affiliation. Even though I know you work with CSAC as well, but, just being a part of what we do. Any final thoughts?
Again, I feel very fortunate to be introduced to IKF by Steve. Very thankful, and I haven't met a bad person in IKF.
Oh, awesome. That is awesome. Dr. Furness, thank you so much for taking a moment. I know you have to get on the road. You got a show tonight.
Yes,
there
sir.
and everything. We'll do it kind of like a handshake, all that kind of good stuff like that. Then we'll use sanitizer. How about that? Thanks so much, Dr. Furness.
I'll see you tonight.
We'll see you tonight. Thanks so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Furness there. He's what I call the chief doctor here in the state of California for fight sports. At least he's certainly one of the leading doctors here. Does a great job, really cares about the fighters. Has been doing it for many years, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with him. Now, some of the people are asking, some questions about, the future of the IKF and perhaps some of like the tournaments and things. We're currently discussing that, the World Classic, West Coast Classics, and things like that, and how that is going to all play out. But I will tell you, you'll be in good hands. I can tell you that you can bet that, our regulations will be followed. We'll have good representatives out there who will, make sure that everyone does what they're supposed to do to keep fighters safe. We have many years in this business of regulating the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing, and even some boxing and MMA. But I can tell you that we are putting together, kind of restructuring just a little bit right now, hopefully temporarily, right, so that we can keep the ship afloating, if you will, and moving things forward. But just know that we care, and we want everybody to be a part of what we are doing. So if you're interested in becoming a part of the IKF and being a part of IKF Strong, you can certainly contact us here at our offices. The websites we're kind of redoing a little bit right now, ikfkickboxing.com. We'll have some links for that. You can certainly always contact me on my website at akpromotions.org. We had a couple of other guests. I need to see if they're still on. I know some people had to run. They were on. We sent them the link. Some others had some issues with trying to get on, although some did get on. Again, we'll be discussing the World Classic here. We'll let you guys know what is going to go on with that tournament. Also, I have a couple pictures here that I just kind of pulled. If some other people want to come on, they can certainly do that. I don't know if I can actually put the link. Let me see if I can really put the link, just in case some of you are watching and you want to try to come on. Let's see, can we drop that link there for you? And if you want to copy and paste that, you can certainly do so. And we will see what happens. If you can now see that link, come on. We'll chat with you for a moment here. Got a great picture here with Mr. Don Wilson, Don the Dragon Wilson there, and Mr. Steve Fossum. I'm not sure where they were, but I think it was Russia somewhere where they were. Don the Dragon Wilson's a movie star. He also has, a big connection with IKF. He comes to the World Classic every year as a special guest there with us. And he and Steve, they go a long way back and all. And we've interviewed him several times here on Johnny Davis Live. And we certainly expect to talk with him again. I'm sure that he is sending his thoughts and prayers to the Fossum family as Mr. Steve Fossum is, pulling through this. There are ups and downs. The prognosis are up and down. One day great, maybe not so great some days, but he is a fighter, right? And when you are a fighter, that's what you do. You fight, regardless of the circumstances. You give it all you got. It's not over until it's over. And we know that Mr. Fossum is out there and he's giving it 110%. We want you, if you can, though, to support us. I think they're finishing up the GoFundMe page right now as we speak. If it's not up right now, in the next hour or so, it should be. Go on and do what you can to help with these medical expenses and things like that are certainly coming our way. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to do what we're doing to keep the organization strong while making sure that we keep fighters and things like that safe. Another nice little picture I pulled up too. I was just kind of going through, pulling up a couple pictures. How far Steve and I go back. This is a show we did somewhere. I'm not really sure, but he was interviewing me, believe it or not. That was a long interview if he was interviewing me. But Steve is actually very good on the microphone. He's a very good interviewer. We actually he was doing an actual TV show at one time. Did some great color commentary, some lead commentary, and all of that. Very talented. Very talented. Yes, he was like, he could do a little bit of it all. And so that was a time there when we were doing an event and we were there interviewing and chatting. And it was a really good time. Another time that I recall with Steve and I was that when Dave Marinoble's out of Roseville, California, won his world championship over in Malaysia. At the time, I was actually training Dave, and I was so excited as well as Steve about Dave actually winning. He won by knockout over there in Malaysia, and we kind of put together this thing at the airport, and we all met at the airport. Look how young both Steve and I look right there. Boy, I tell you what, this age thing is something else, right? And all, but we met at the airport, and we had a lot of Dave's friends and all of that, come to the airport. And it was really nice. We had a really great time, a great celebration. Dave, Madman, Marinoble, guys. We were there together. Another great time. And look, again, I have a lot of pictures, right? I could go on and on. This is back when I first started promotions here in California. I mean, literally, when I first started promoting, a world champion, Sam Montgomery there, and I were promoting some events. It's been a long time, but we were promoting these kickboxing events and everything. And I was a little bit more into it than Sam Montgomery. But Sam is a great guy still. I think he still runs a great school. Scott McMillan. Oh, my goodness. Scott McMillan's my manager for all of the years and one of my best friends in the world and confidant. He's saying, great to have this tribute show to Mr. Steve Fossum. Thanks, Johnny. Scott, man, this is an honor. You know how I feel about Steve. You know it better than anyone. But anyway, we right there, you see in the picture there to the far left, we have Mr. Bam Bam Stale, who is the chief official for the IKF, who is still involved, still doing this thing. He and his wife, Elaine, are basically running the state of California. And, and I say this, if it's not broken, it doesn't need to be fixed. They're doing a great job right now, right? And they're going to continue to do a great job here in the state of California with Dr. Furness and others, and all. And so they have this going on strong. So we have the PKB and the PMT going on with the Hodges. Then we have the full contact going on with Elaine and Bam. And they're kind of like taking over that ham and making sure that everything continues to run smoothly and safely, as well as working with CEO, the interim CEO, Ms. Tony Fossum and all. And then I will have my input as well in that. But California's in good hands. Thanks, Bam. Appreciate that for all your work. I don't know who the other gentleman is right there, but I can't remember. It's been so many years. Another picture that I found out, just kind of give you guys, another idea of, just a network. That's Mr. Steve Fossum in the middle there. That's Dr. Furness on the far left, and some other distinguished guests there that attend the World Classic like every year. I mean, they work diligently at those events and helping out and everything. But we actually have a picture with the entire team there that go, and these guys are like ongoing. I think this is the most recent IKF World Classic and all of the officials there. And we're all so appreciative for all of the officials that always come out. And we hope that you will continue to come out and support the IKF, that you will continue to come out and support the fighters and the events. We're going to do this thing. We know what we are doing. Listen, I've been taught well by Steve and by my own time in the sport, as a two-time world champion and all that. From the regulatory side of things, I've been taught well. I will tell you that, and it's by Steve Fossum. And so we are going to continue to be strong and to move this organization very forward. Now, when you're looking at all those officials right there, all of those officials are still available, and I'm sure they're going to be coming out for as we need them to help out at different events across the country. Along with that, we're going to be looking for new representatives. We're going to be looking for new promoters to come on board as we expand into the different states across the country. We also have an international front. Our international friends over there in Europe and all over the country, we're hoping too that they will, show and give their support as well. We have a comment coming up right here as well from Mr. Giovanni Encarnacion. Now, I'm going to really mess up that name, but he says, Steve is a legend. Remember him when I was fighting over 15 years ago, and I know my son's fight, and the man still, something like that, my son's fight, and the man is still amazing. So listen, I certainly appreciate that comment, Mr. Giovanni. I think I've seen some of your posts and stuff on Facebook as well. We certainly do appreciate you coming on today and making those comments. But again, back to the officials. In the background of this picture here at the World Classic, something that Steve taught me as well, and I'm always grateful for this. You see where it has that trailer in the background. He has it painted with all the IKF logos and all that. I now have one of those trailers. He taught me every time I load that trailer, every time I think of Steve. I know that's simple. That is so simple because he was so anal about how you stack the trailer, right? Because you had to put the heavy stuff on the bottom and the lighter stuff on top and all that. Every single time I pack it. And sometimes I even send a message, man, so thankful that you taught me how to load this trailer, and so, listen, the history is so big, right? I hope it continues, right? But right over 30 years, we've been working, to help grow and build the sport. That legacy will not stop. It will not stop. Steve, like I said, going to go through this period. Hopefully he's going to get better. And when he does come back, let's go. But, listen, in any case, we're going to move the IKF forward. Those letters are so important to the world, the culture of the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing. It's ingrained in so many people. People know what it means. It has equity. And we're going to take that equity and we're going to continue to expand and we're going to grow it. And Steve who can witness it while he's healing, right? And then when he comes back and able to get back in the ham, take it back, run with it again. That's absolutely the plan, right? So again, as I say, I want to give everything I can to try to make that happen. I would be remiss, right, if I didn't take a moment here for, I know a dear friend of his, Mr. Brooks Mason, the person in the blue shirt on the right. Everyone who goes to the World Classic hears this great speech by Mr. Brooks Mason, and he is just an awesome guy there with, and he also was the trainer of the Don Wilson, right, who was a great world champion and movie star. And then I can't say her name exactly, but she was on for a minute ago, and she was trying to come, and she was on, but I guess she had to go. But I certainly was looking forward to speaking with her, and I don't want to try to mimic her name. But, there's so many good people out here that support the IKF. Listen, let's be clear. There's going to be people out there who's going to think this is a grab bag. Oh, we're going to do that. Don't do that, right? Because we're strong, right? We know the sport. We understand the business, and we have the right people in place, and that will be in place that's going to make certain decisions that going to make sure that the organization is looking out for you to have the best events that you can possibly have. We're going to continue to do our tournaments across the country, including the spring, the fall classics over in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the Georgia Classic in Georgia. We're going to also working on the Illinois, Missouri class. We got a lot of different things that are coming on, even in the West Coast. So we're going to bring this team together in unison. We're going to continue to educate and train people and expand our horizons and all that we are doing to make this sport deserving. Yeah, we're going to bring those rounds back. Yeah, we're going to work on paying more money for these fighters. All of that is a part of the future of the IKF, right? And all because this is Steve's legacy. This is what he put his blood and sweat into. And we want him to be able to smell the roses while he still can. We want him to know that the training and the passion that he put into this will not go in vain. I promise you that. It will not go in vain. So look, guys, for everybody who came on today, thank you. If you can do something to help out the family right now, if the GoFundMe page, it might be up right now, you can go and check. Please do, right? Support him. I promise you that I'm giving all the support that I can in every way that I can to keep everything moving forward. We're asking for you to take this show, and I will create a link, whatever, a smaller clip perhaps. You can share that with people. Share it across the country. Share, and let them know if they've ever won a medal, a trophy, a belt at any, that includes in PKBs, PMTs, the Eastern Coast Classics, the World Classics, West Coast Classics, any IKF event, fight nights, whatever. Share the link. If you don't have money, just share the link, right? If that's all you can do is share the link, right? And put it out there so that those who can will help. And we certainly do appreciate all of the support that you can give the IKF organization and the Steve Fossum family. On behalf of Fallon, on behalf of Tony, his wife, Fallon, his daughter, and the entire IKF organization, I want to say sincerely thank you for chiming in, for tuning in to this special tribute for a living legend, in my opinion, Mr. Steve Fossum. He's still fighting to get through these tough times, but with your help, it will make it a lot easier. So I hope that you will go to GoFundMe, and it's under Mr. Steve Fossum's name, right, and donate. And we certainly do appreciate all of your help. We are IKF Strong. Forward march, everyone. This is Johnny Davis live, and I'm checking out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.